Policing the Highlands is not a job for the faint-hearted.
It's just the scope of the place, the vastness of it.
It's huge. It's absolutely massive.
Police Scotland's Highlands and Islands Division is Britain's biggest beat.
We don't find you, stand still.
People come up here and go missing.
You'll come to no harm.
12,000 square miles of lochs, glens, islands and mountains.
Somebody at home just going through hell.
From protecting endangered species.
Animals don't talk, and there's not many eyewitnesses. We get them taken away for forensic testing.
Please, what's the address of the emergency?
To answering emergency calls in the UK's wildest places.
Nobody phones the police when they're having a good day. People only phone the police if they're in points of crisis.
Somebody's phoned in to tell us that their window has been hit by a bullet.
It was like an explosion, so loud.
Here, cutting-edge crime fighting works alongside old-school rural policing, tackling 21st century problems that threaten traditional ways of life.
The number of drugs deaths that we have dealt with over the last few years has just been astronomical.
They're machetes. If you've seen one of them coming at you, you're thinking the worst.
We do police with the consent of our communities.
Absolutely shaking. Just give us a call. Just do 999 because we want to find out who this is.
But we're also very much part of the community.
This is a friend of mine.
Don't say that on camera.
You're one of the locals, but you still have to maintain the law and order.
This series goes inside the UK's most unique police division to find out what it takes to patrol the beat and keep the peace in the most beautiful and challenging places in Britain.
The Highlands and Islands has to be one of the most beautiful places in the world. It's sparsely populated in places which can be difficult for us as a police force.
In the far north of Scotland, human habitation dwindles to almost nothing. An empty wilderness that some find irresistible.
Hi, I'm Finn Creaney, survivalist and bushcraft instructor from the Highlands of Scotland, and welcome to the Wildcat Way. It's the elements of survival. So you need shelter, heat, you need good water, purifying it, absolute essential, and then food.
Survival expert Finn Creaney has been reported missing by his family. Married with a young son, Finn is passionate about the outdoors. 4 days ago, he set off on a walk. He was expected back after 2 days, but he hasn't returned.
Missing people is a real area of demand for Highlands and Islands policing. There's a whole command structure that's put around missing people inquiries, and a lot of resources and time and effort goes into finding them.
A major search operation is getting underway. The clock is ticking. PC Sam MacLeod and Ross Perry are on their way to the spot where Finn was last seen.
Updates have been put on instant from some bikers that saw him on Friday, 3:15. He was travelling north from Altahara Motor Home and Campsite.
So he was dropped here?
Yeah.
In this landscape, 4 days is a long time to be out alone. Police have made an appeal on social media, but no one has reported seeing Finn. Searchers don't know what route he planned to take.
Have you seen the description?
Aye,
You've noticed him. He got dropped off there walking. His plan was to walk to Gospey.
I thought he would have went in through Rossall Wood.
Yeah. The thing is, he's a bit of an off-roader. He doesn't stick to paths.
Right.
And he kind of follows the water, so he's making his way down that way to go to Gospey.
Right.
So he could be anywhere.
Aye, no, there's a path and you come off the path. I know it would have been that way, but if he got dropped off there.
Yeah, he didn't give a route, that's the thing.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Coordinating the search from a base in a local hotel is Sergeant Glenn Bingham.
I was just finishing duty yesterday and received a call from another officer to say that this gentleman was missing and was classed as high risk. For the information we have, he was dropped off by a family member on Friday afternoon. They're at this point here at Loch Navar, and his car was parked in Golspie, which is down here somewhere, and his intention was to walk from that point down back to his car over this terrain, but unfortunately we don't know which route he's taken. It's a huge area, not heavily populated at all. It's not like Glencoe or Lochaber or the Cairngorms where there's a lot of footfall. We rely heavily on our fellow agencies. We've got the Ascent Mountain Rescue Team, we've got RAF Mountain Rescue Team, we use Search and Rescue Dog Association, so they've got dogs trained in finding alive people. We've got coastguard helicopter plus police helicopter. At this stage we've still got hope that we can find them alive.
Ah, right. We'll get it checked. We'll make sure it's been checked, yeah.
The longer the time frame goes on, obviously the less hope we have of having a happy outcome.
With the light beginning to fade, the search is called off until morning. If Finn is out here, he's facing another night in the wilderness, alone. While the Highlands can often seem like an empty landscape, it's home to a huge variety of wildlife that can sometimes be targeted by criminals. In charge of fighting wildlife crime right across the division is PC Dan Sutherland.
I grew up in the northeast of England. I didn't fancy the idea of big city centre policing. I could have done that on my doorstep in Newcastle or Durham. There's two difficulties with wildlife crime. Is A, they don't talk, animals don't talk, obviously, and they live in the wild, so there's not many eyewitnesses. They're the two biggest issues. Not just trying to prove an offence, even just trying to find an offence. The natural world was always fascinating to me. It's a special place, and special places deserve to be looked after.
Today, Dan's been asked to investigate a case of suspected poaching.
They're looking for me to try and deal with 2 deer carcasses that need to be sent for post-mortem. It is pretty unusual. It doesn't happen that often.
The suspected poacher has been taken into custody. His vehicle, containing 2 dead deer, has been seized.
Get them taken away safely to be stored safe and secure for further forensic testing.
The suspect has admitted shooting the deer, but claims he had permission from the landowner.
Myself and a colleague are now going to head up to an area where our suspect has a right to shoot and where he claims he shot these. And we're going to see if we can find where he shot them to make our own assessment and forensic analysis of what's happened.
If he's found guilty, the man could lose his gun license, be hit with a large fine, and even go to prison. The suspect leads Dan high into the hills above Loch Ness. This is deer country. Here, vast estates cater to wealthy tourists, and the wildlife is protected by law. Dan wants to identify the exact spot of the kill.
So we're just following out our chap in front of us just to take us out to a location where we believe this deer was shot, and we'll just see if we can find the remains of what's left, so we can recover the remains and hopefully get it tested and analysed and looked at. It is a huge area and a huge beat to cover for a one-man job essentially sometimes. We all smile and say it's the same size as Belgium. It's bonkers sometimes when you think of it like that.
Riding along with Dan for backup is Inverness officer Katie Peterana.
I don't normally deal with rural sort of crime like this because I'm response in Inverness, so normally we sort of just deal with city crime, not really rural crime. So it's a first for me dealing with poached deer, that's for sure.
As in a murder inquiry, Dan needs to build his case. He must prove the deer were killed by gunshot. And crucially, if his suspect had permission to be hunting in the exact spot of each kill.
We'll go over to that one, and then we'll just walk down, and then you can leave us to it.
A Highland tradition helps Dan establish a few initial facts.
Just get a photograph of it.
On these hills, it's customary for stalkers to gut deer where they fall and leave the intestines, known as gralach, there in the ground.
It helps the inquiry, doesn't it, the fact that we're able to recover that. We'll just take samples from this deer gralach that we've managed to trace. And we can get these sent off for analysis. We can establish what species of deer this belongs to, whether it's male or female. Taking 2 swabs, and we can use them just for DNA sampling of the deer that we've already seized from a suspect's vehicle. What we're trying to prove is essentially a complaint made to us that someone has been shooting on land that is no authority to be shooting on.
Further down the hill, there's evidence of a second kill.
We'll get a sample and we'll get that tested and see if we can compare to what was in the vehicle of the suspect to what's on the ground here.
While Dan has been in the hill, other officers have been in touch with local landowners. Now an estate manager has come to clarify where some of the boundaries lie.
Who's going? One there, and the next one just inside that the trees in that corner of the field there, just on the other side of the burn comes down.
So have you seen the gralach there?
Yes.
To me it suggests it's well outside. Yeah, the boundary's the burn down there, down in that gorge, and this side is Jeevach. So it's outside Clunamore, what I'm responsible for.
Closer to establishing the land boundaries, Dan can check if the suspect has permission to shoot here. But that's not enough. While the man has admitted killing the deer, Dan needs proof that those intestines came from the deer in his truck. Otherwise, his case could collapse in court.
It's a start, it's a good day. We've established plenty of evidence. We've got a good line of inquiry to see where this takes us.
In the hills north of Inverness, it's day 2 of the search for Finn Creaney, and 5 days since he set off alone into the wilds.
Smells fantastic.
Local police are doing everything they can, but they are stretched thin, and time is of the essence. They've called in a specialist rescue team from outside the division to help. In the lead is PC Donald MacLeod.
Right lads, so we've been given the sort of eastern part search area. So look in your maps, Baddenloch Lodge down to Borrowdale Forest. So as you can see, a lot of it on the map is landy track, but there are also a lot of wee huts. So they'll need checked, as well as any other uninhabited place you see. We're the Police Scotland Grampian Mountain Rescue Team, so we're based down in Aberdeenshire. But with big searches like this, we just come together and we just came up this morning and to start our search. There's 5 of us up here today, so given the geography and given the area, we can split into 2 teams, into 2 vehicles, and we can do quite a lot on vehicles doing the tracks. And then we will go on foot and we'll look at linking up north and south. It's a very big area. It just shows you Scotland is a big place, a lot of wilderness.
This can be a very hostile environment, and today there's another danger: the weather. When Finn set off, the temperature was in double figures. But now a cold front has swept in, and it's freezing. If he's not equipped for snow, he'll be in real peril. The conditions are so poor that the coastguard helicopter can't even land.
He's here, but he just can't land here. All right. Because they're scared they can't get airborne again because of the snow.
The whole search area for this one is huge, just purely because so little information we have on this one at the moment. Usually we get speaking to witnesses and stuff, managed to pick up areas where they might have gone into, but this one is just, it's a needle in a haystack at the moment.
A 100 miles north of Inverness, the main road, the A9, runs out. You've arrived at the most northerly town on the British mainland, Thurso. A small port surrounded by moors at what can feel like the edge of the world. On duty here today is Acting Sgt Andy McKay.
You know, people refer to it as like the island on the mainland, but once you get north of kind of Helmsdale, it's basically moorland, and it does feel, you know, like island life up here. And you know, the fact that there's 5 police officers looking after 20,000 people today, spread over a huge area, so that makes it kind of a bit more challenging and a bit more interesting as well.
For decades, the main employer in Thurso has been the Dounreay nuclear facility. That's now being decommissioned, and the town's future is less certain. It has also seen other changes, which have had a big impact on both the community and the police.
The dynamic of the drug scene, I would say, has changed. When I first started, it was mostly just like cannabis, a bit of cocaine, there was a few people did heroin, but more recently I would say folk are more into their benzos like diazepams, their Xanaxes, pregabalins and things like that, mixing them with alcohol, which then creates a pretty kind of desperate situation. The number of drugs deaths that we have dealt with over the last few years has just been astronomical.
As acting sergeant, Andy is the senior officer on shift. On his way into town, a call comes in from the station.
What's happened is we've had a call from the Royal Mail delivery office in Thurso. They have reported to us that they've found a suspicious package in the post. They believe that it may contain cannabis. Obviously, cannabis, really in whatever form you have it, is pretty smelly stuff. They've weighed it on their scales, and the parcel itself weighs about 1.5 kilos. The kind of normal quantities of cannabis that we maybe be getting out the post would be like, 5 grams or 10 grams or something like that. It's a significant amount of drugs to get in the post in Caithness on a Friday afternoon, so it's we'll see what we've got,
Since the package was reported, officers in Thurso have checked their intelligence records for the property it was addressed to.
Yeah, so there's intel that someone in this house is dealing cocaine.
Yeah, is that quite recent intelligence, Ross?
2 days ago.
Oh, perfect, yeah, right, we'll hopefully get a warrant for this then.
Yeah, I'm on it.
Good man, thank you. You could send a lot of cocaine through the post in a small parcel, so, obviously if there's this cannabis there and there's other parcels for the same address, it would lead us to kind of, cast further suspicion that there's other things in the post or have been delivered in the post.
Unlike private couriers, The Royal Mail is obliged by law to deliver to every address in the UK, no matter how remote. Post office staff do look out for suspicious packages and must report them to the police. Andy and fellow officer PC Colin McRae go to seize this one for examination.
So we've got our parcel here. We'll go back to the office and we'll go back to the office and open that up and see what we've got inside.
The dark web has definitely played a role in the availability and accessibility of, illegal drugs in the community. Since COVID, postal seizures of drugs just went exponentially through the roof because, nobody could go anywhere.
It's absolutely widespread wherever you go. Wee small Highland towns, Wick, Thurso, even if you go out west, it's everywhere. If you think it's not in your community, you would be surprised. Right, let's see what we got. Oh, look at this. There we go. Pretty dusty looking bush there, Two. Oh, that is absolutely stinking. Oh, right, that is smelly stuff.
One of the packages also contains a bag of white powder.
Stick that on there, see what we've got.
Andy gets to work testing the contents.
It's quite obvious what we've got going on here, but yeah, we've got to test it. Just belt and braces, cross the I's and dot the T's, as they say.
The drug testing processes that we have at the station, there's one for cannabis, there's one for cocaine. Other drugs that are maybe not so common would have to be sent off to the laboratory and be tested by chemists.
There we go. This little bit goes in here like that. And then we open this bit here, make sure that that goes down in there like that, and then we give it a shake. And it should react and give us the answer. So as you can see, we've got a nice kind of red colour there, confirming that this is indeed cannabis. Right, we'll put that.
Next, it's the turn of the white powder.
So we've got a bright shade of blue there, so that is positive for cocaine. What we'll do is we'll need to fill in the paperwork and then we will see what we can do about a warrant.
Wildlife crime officer Dan Sutherland is building his case against a suspected poacher. He needs to be able to prove that the deer were shot. So today, a post-mortem will be carried out on the carcasses by specialist vets at Scotland's Rural College.
Hi Fiona, how are you getting on?
This is turning into a more complex inquiry, but it's going to be a very robust inquiry because potentially it will result in the person losing their firearms certificate and potentially facing either a large fine or a period of imprisonment.
Two stags look in not bad condition as well, eh?
No, no.
Something like that, that's it.
It takes Fiona and her colleague over an hour to carefully cut the stag open. Eventually, they can get a clear view of its internal injuries.
Because of the suspicion that it had been shot, first thing we did was skinning the carcass as much as we could. As we were skinning the carcass, we found a hole in the skin, which followed a track through the carcass, and then there was a second hole in the skin on the far side, which very much looks like the path of the bullet through the carcass. Got a hole there, which is associated with that hole there. There's then a hole through a bone, that has then carried on through the neck and has gone through the other side.
And looking more closely, Fiona spots further tissue damage.
So we found a second bullet hole. Sure. Yes, had been shot twice, so it looks like that's probably knocked it off its feet, but it didn't look like a fatal wound. So I presume the second shot was to try and kill it. And then we actually managed to find a bullet in there. We got a bullet out.
Oh, did you? Excellent. Brilliant. Clear evidence it's been shot and died of its injuries.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
With proof the deer was shot, there's one more piece of the jigsaw Dan needs to build his case, matching the DNA of the deer guts from the hill to the deer carcasses themselves.
It's important to grab the DNA aspect, because if we didn't have that and it gets to court and he denies it, then where's the evidence we have that actually, beyond all reasonable doubt, shows he did what we say he did?
The search for Finn Creaney has entered its third day. The operation's been coordinated from the police station in Dingwall, 30 miles south of the scene. In overall charge is Inspector Alistair Goskirk.
My concerns continue to be extreme for him. The overriding difficulty with this case is that we actually don't know what specific route he was going to take. Reports of missing persons are an everyday occurrence. It's important to just take a step back and pause for a moment when you get a report, just so that you can kind of take that sense of what is it you're actually facing, what is the reality of the situation, and that you don't jump to conclusions. But for me, essentially, it's about understanding what is the risk to that individual. So this is a fit, able, agile person. Yes, undertakes very challenging activities, but there was nothing in the plan or nothing expected that would go wrong. Something clearly has gone wrong here.
While the search parties scour the hills, Alistair has been contacting Finn's family, both to reassure them that everything possible is being done and to seek any information that might help to focus the search.
The priority is to reach out, understand who their loved one is, what their loved one is thinking about, what they know of their plans, what's been bothering them, actually. By doing so, you try and build up a picture of the individual. He's a family man. He's someone who cares very deeply for his family, and that is really obvious to me. His passion as well, his bushcraft, his outdoor, his survival abilities. He loves that environment, thrives in that environment, wants to share his experiences with other people, but it also gives you a sense of his ambition and what he's prepared to do.
Up in the hills, the weather is getting worse. Despite the efforts of several teams, there's still no sign of Finn. The senior team in Dingwall have to assess the progress of the search and make some tough decisions.
Yeah, so be clear that Finn Creaney still remains outstanding. It still essentially stands as that the hypothesis being that he's either suffered a medical event that's incapacitated him, and he unfortunately is unable to raise that alarm, or has suffered a physical issue, again similarly, like a fall or something that's incapacitated him.
Given his age and lack of anything else, if he has fallen over and incapacitated himself, he's potentially actually still there to be found, then that won't be lost on Owen or any of you. He may still be alive, and I'll certainly look at resourcing if something is potentially possible beyond Thursday, and see what we can do.
The weather is deteriorating by the hour. If Finn is alive, he needs to be found before it's too late. Inverness, capital of the Highlands and the busiest city for miles, traffic cops Ali McKay and Callum Macaulay are on patrol on a big night for the north of Scotland's boy racers.
Tonight we've got a car cruise on, so there's some car enthusiasts that are part of a club based from around the Highlands. They have meets every so often. I'm a Highlander born and bred. This is my home, so it's an area that I'm quite passionate about. I've been a police officer for 9 years, and my role as a road policing officer, our prime function is to deal with serious road traffic collisions. In between times when we're not dealing with serious collisions, we spend time trying to reduce them or stop them from happening.
What we're going to look at is, as we know they're coming this way, we're just going to make sure they're sitting at the speed limit as they're coming over the bridge here. So we'll park up and start using the speed gun to check speeds of vehicles coming that direction. When they're in a group of them, they do attract attention, so you'd like to think they'd be sensible, but we'll see. And given the size of the vehicle we're in, we're highly visible, so it's acting as a deterrent more than anything tonight. If they see us early on, that will stop them from doing anything later on.
Ali and Callum pick the spot, a busy stretch of dual carriageway on the outskirts of Inverness. The speed limit here is 50 miles an hour. Most drivers stick close to it, particularly with the police car so conspicuous.
63, that one.
So when a car doing over 60 passes, it's time to take some action.
Go for a word with him, huh?
Yeah.
He was doing 63, so we'll go speak to him anyway and see what he's saying to it. Just give him some corrective advice.
Ali and Callum follow the car across the Keswick Bridge towards the city centre. Once they're across, they pull the driver over for a chat.
As a police officer, we have the power to stop any vehicle that's travelling on the road. We do carry out enforcement. That can be in relation to speeding, it can be in relation to drink and drug driving, driving licence offences, insurance offences. By us dealing with these offences, that is how we contribute to reducing the amount of casualties that occur on our roads. We're just carrying out road safety checks this evening. You were driving too fast. Okay, so you need to slow down. So you're not allowed to drive as fast as what you were driving tonight. So what we're going to do is I'm going to require you to give us a breath test and a specimen of saliva for a roadside drugs test, okay? So I'll inform you that failure to provide that without a reasonable excuse. So if you don't give them to us, that's an offence, okay, which may render you liable to prosecution. No, need to blow.
You need to blow.
Blow much harder. So, like this, into the machine. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. Stop.
Ideal, perfect. You give it to us.
Thank you. Oh, so that's the score, 88. So you failed at showing 88.
With 88 micrograms of alcohol in his system, the driver is 4 times over the Scottish legal limit. Mobile breath testing has been used by the police for decades. Today they're also able to test for cannabis and cocaine here at the roadside.
This is for drugs. Stick your tongue right out.
As Ali and Callum finish testing the man, souped-up cars start passing on the way to the meet-up.
That's exactly who we're meant to be stopping and looking at tonight.
It's negative for cannabis and cocaine, but you failed the breath test, okay? So at this moment, I arrest you for failing that roadside breath test.
The suspect is taken for a second breath test to confirm he's over the limit. If he's charged and convicted, he'll face a large fine and be banned from driving for at least a year.
We see the aftermath of what happens with collisions, and we're the ones who have to deal with it. We're the ones who have to go and tell their families about what have happened and try and support the families through that. And We're working towards reducing the amount of people that are seriously injured or die on our roads. That is what we are here for.
The driver will be kept in custody until he's sobered up. So Ali and Callum hit the road and head for the big boy racer meetup. 60 souped-up hot rods have come into Inverness from right across the Highlands for a car cruise at a retail park.
There's unmarked cars going about tonight as well. When we go in, they'll definitely see us because we're a big X5 that's pretty marked. So if anyone does anything silly when we're about, they've only got themselves to blame.
On the north coast of Scotland, police have intercepted a package of illegal drugs at the post office, addressed to a property in town.
We've got, what, about 130 grams of cannabis and 11 grams of cocaine.
Now, they're applying for a warrant to raid the house.
I'll let you know what happens. All right, cheers, boss. Bye-bye.
The drugs have a rough street value of £2,500. There's enough cannabis to bring a charge of dealing.
If we don't find the drugs, it's not particularly a big deal. The intelligence says that these people are meant to be dealing. We've got kind of a good quantity there. That's probably what they were going to be dealing this weekend. It would be an evidence-gathering exercise just now. You know, if we found significant, massive quantities of drugs in the house, then, you know, someone's going to have to come to the police station straight away. But it's one of these things with there's several different bridges we could cross in the distance, but we got across the first one of actually getting a warrant and getting in the house.
Finally, the search warrant comes through. It's time to go.
Recent intel a few days ago was that she was dealing amounts of cocaine from her house. One short stay caller was seen to be leaving with a bag, approximately 15 grams of cocaine. Most of the callers to the address are people with money and are professionals, and that address is known to supply cocaine. First option is to knock the door, see if she's going to be there.
So if it's open, we're going to. If it's not, we're going to knock, or we're just going to get.
If it's not open and there's no signs of life, then I'll come and put the door in.
If there's signs of life.
If there's signs of life, give it a knock. See if she comes to the door. You know.
There is a back door to this address, which presumably is accessed by an alleyway just to the left of the house. So 2 officers will need to go around the back, just in case. So basically, any drug paraphernalia, mobile phones, electronic devices, anything like that.
We could go to the door and say, "Here, Chief, there's a parcel at the post office with your name on it. It's full of drugs. What do you know about that?" And they could just turn around and say, "I don't know, mate." And, well, that's it. How do we prove that they ordered it for themselves? In the world of postal kind of seizures and postal drugs, it's probably actually easier to prove the dealing thing.
So the plan here is we're just going to go up to the house. I'm kitted up like this, just in case we need to do method of entry techniques to get to the property. So I'm ready to go. We need the kind of element of surprise about us. The boys are going to go and try the door, see if it's open. If the handle's open, that's fine. I will have to put the door in, but we just got to have contingencies in place, just in case. So that sounds like they're just about there.
Control 47 Alpha.
This police, we've got a warrant to search the premises.
Yeah.
All right, mate.
Ross, we're in. Where's the warrant? Right. That's fine. The troops have gotten at the property there, the householders in, who've not needed to force entry, so I'll go and de-kit, put a mask on, and then we'll go and see what we can find.
Under the search warrant, The police can seize anything that might be evidence. But they don't yet know if there is enough here to justify making an arrest.
We're going to have to take your phone away to analyse it, because it's kind of on the scale where it's heading towards dealing, you know. It used to be with these things that we had to send them off to Inverness and they were away for ages, but we do have a way to check these things quickly now, so if there's nothing that we need on it, you can get your phone back quicker. Positive result, we've got a few things out of the house. One very cheesed off homeowner, but that's to be expected. So we'll go back to the office and we'll get this all tidied up and get the paperwork done. So obviously we've got the phone, there's a little bit of resin there, there's a little kind of baggie there with some white crystalline powder in it, a little bit of herbal matter there and there. This is probably the most exciting find that we've got. I'll just unwrap this so you can see, making sure not to spill any. So if you look in here, we've got what would be quite a significant quantity of a white crystalline substance, we'll call it for now until we test it. I would hazard a guess that we've got cocaine here, but as I say, we'll need to test it first. For the amount of cannabis we've got here, we're sort of over the threshold from personal into dealing territory. We were just about at the threshold with the cocaine that we had out of the post office, and if we add this in that little baggie in, I'd say we'd be over the threshold for personal use into dealing territory as well. So this is a quality result that we've got today. This is really good. You know, this is basically one of the reasons to get out of the bed and come to work in the morning. Like this is why we all join the police, to help the community like this get this kind of stuff off the streets. You know, this is what makes it worthwhile. You know, we're coming up for 3.5 hours late home from work, but you know, it's worth the effort to get this stuff done. Like absolutely. So it's a good way to end the week. Like definitely.
In the retail park in Inverness, traffic officers Ali McKay and Cal Macaulay are on the lookout for antisocial drivers in souped-up cars.
We were sent to, or made aware of, a car cruise, as it was called, involving a number of boy racers, and we were asked to attend in the area and try and encourage them to use the road space wisely. I wasn't a boy racer, no. I was too scared of maybe getting into trouble. So what I chose to do instead was I joined the police and I learned how to drive a car quickly.
This run started in Tain, which is what are we, 45 miles north of here.
I've seen there's cars here from Elgin tonight, there's cars here from Tain, Allness, Invergordon, all over the place.
Most of these people will be fine. It just takes someone being an idiot here. With the amount of people standing about, a lot of people could get hurt at once. That's why we're always pretty keen to be at places like this. Alright, so there's a fair few. It's just the revving that you're hearing from there, and that's the biggest complaint we get about this retail park in particular. The reason being, see if you look over to your right hand side, on the other side of Aldi there, that's all residential houses.
One of the best bits of legislation that we have for dealing with some level of careless driving or driving anywhere other than the road is we can issue warnings under the Antisocial Behaviour Scotland Act that allow us to put a marker in that vehicle for up to a year. It can sometimes be the case that we issue them with what is known locally as an ASBO. That allows us to place a warning on the vehicle and on the driver. So if the driver is to drive in an antisocial manner at any point within the following 12 months, to drive that vehicle, or if they drive any other vehicle in that manner, the vehicle may be uplifted.
We'll go have a look at that one, just no lights on it. Huh?
Yeah.
Circling the car park, Ali spots a vehicle that has a problem with its lights.
Oh, wrong sided that. Do you see that come?
That'll do.
Before he reaches it, something else catches his eye.
I don't know if you saw that. You wrong sided this roundabout and was flying. That's him away there.
This car has been driven recklessly. It went the wrong way round a roundabout at speed. Ali sets off in hot pursuit.
What we've found in the past, that while these car cruises are taking place, there can be a bit of bravado that comes across in the way that people drive, and they look to show off. We are keen that people enjoy their cars, but when that becomes the case where they're putting other people at risk, that's not something that we tolerate.
Hello, how you doing tonight? Aye, no bad, no bad. I'll tell you the reason we've come to speak to you. Gone the wrong side of the roundabout. Aye, yeah, I think you know yourself, you don't need me to tell you. Have you got your driving licence with you tonight? See, you're driving tonight. Yeah. It falls below what would be expected of a careful and competent driver. You've been kind of drawing attention to yourself, so it's something that we're going to need to deal with, alright? The way that I'm going to deal with that is I'm going to issue you a warning in terms of the Antisocial Behaviour Scotland Act. If you drive this car or another vehicle in a similar manner, or if anybody else drives this car in a similar manner, the vehicle will be uplifted, alright? We'll get some paperwork sorted for you, and then we'll get you back on your way.
While Ali is issuing the ticket, another car is making an antisocial racket.
That's a blue Astra. The unit's at inches from Tango Sierra 336.
He calls it into control, so other officers in town are on the alert.
He's definitely worthy of a stop, his behaviour there.
Whereabouts is it now?
It just went back in past Aldi.
Alright, thanks for your time.
With this driver dealt with, Ali and Callum continue monitoring the car park. Before long, they spot a familiar-looking driver.
Is this him?
Maybe.
I think that's him, huh?
That'll do.
That'll do.
It's the same blue Vauxhall they reported a moment ago, deliberately making the kind of noise that'll trigger complaints from local residents.
Shove the lights on, get him into the filling station.
Hello, how you doing tonight?
What's up?
Aye, good. We're just carrying out those safety checks tonight.
Sweet.
Just stopped you in the way. You've been driving a wee bit too much coming out the car park there.
You'd say so, but...
You wouldn't have said so?
No.
Alright, I would beg to differ with you on that. We're getting a lot of complaints with the way people are driving in and out the car parks here at the moment. Alright, so to keep yourself right, I'd recommend that you wouldn't carry on doing that, alright? Do you have your driving licence with you today? Thanks very much. I see you've had an antisocial behaviour warning before.
Before, yeah.
Yeah.
I take it they told you what would happen if it would happen again. We seize the vehicle.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're going to seize the vehicle.
For that, I don't think I've done anything wrong.
Okay, well, that's your opinion.
So you're going to seize the vehicle?
Yes.
So I was supposed to get home?
Right.
Okay.
Over a soft limiter on the car. It's not like I've done anything wrong. I didn't harshly accelerate or anything.
You've drawn quite a bit of attention to yourself with the way you've been driving.
Okay, what reason do you have for hitting the limiter?
It's just enjoying myself. It's not like I said, it's not like I've been speeding. Absolutely.
What's a major complaint that we get at least 5 calls a night from on a Friday and Saturday night from the residents there? People hitting the limiter.
Also in the car are the man's mum and younger brother.
You're going to stop a mum and a kid and her son from going home now for that? Really?
Yes.
You have nothing better to do?
I'll be perfectly honest with you. You don't seem to accept what you did was wrong.
It's just a soft limiter. It's just as I was leaving to say bye, that was it.
While the driver's car is seized and he and his family find a lift home, Ali and Callum run a search on his record and find that not only does he already have an ASBO, but is also awaiting trial for 2 charges of dangerous driving. If convicted, he will probably be banned from driving for a year or more.
Barring killing someone, it's the most serious driving offences that you can have. He's had them on his record for 3 years, so he's just sort of accepted, I'm going to get banned for it, I'm going to get my licence back, and he's going to continue to drive like that. So it's folk like that we're wanting off the road. And this is one way and one tool that we use tonight to get him off the road.
I think it's ridiculous. There's people doing a lot worse in cars, and I just think for hitting a limit on a car or aggressively accelerating, whatever you want to say, I just think it's stupid. You know what I mean? When you can't find your own way home, all due to a limiter, I think it's ridiculous. It's just folk having fun. You know what I mean? Not endangering anyone or anything like that. So, hey ho, that's my thoughts.
In the far northeast, the search for Finn Creaney is entering its 4th day. Inspector Goskirk has been keeping Finn's family up to date with progress.
In terms of the family contacts, Finn's wife has been spoken to this morning, and I'm afraid to report that I think she's starting to now appreciate the circumstances as we find them, in that her husband has failed to return. Something has happened to him.
The mountain rescue team has swept part of the search area, but it's huge and their resources are limited. Today, they're making one last push.
He's going to stay high risk till tomorrow anyway.
Before deciding whether to stand down.
Right, okay, we've got a plan. At least I know what the plan is.
We're just at the east end now of Loch Never, which where the gentleman was last seen. So at this point here, now we're going to drive up this track south until the track ends at Achanaesh there, and then we'll decamp and we'll search round this hillock and into this wee wooden copse here, and what we'll do, we'll search through that wooden copse, then come back to the vehicle. The little information we have maybe puts him that he's moved east along the loch and then moved south towards obviously South Street and that come in line with Golspie. But as you can see, you know, it's going to be snow showers all through the day, so it's not horrendous, but it'll just obviously just may hamper sort of long range visibility. The information we've got is he's not got a lot of clothing with him, and through the day you'd have been fine if the temperature drops at night and if you're not moving. But it wouldn't be pleasant. Again, guys, just dump kit you don't need. Right, we're looking for anything really, any clues. Obviously looking for a person, but anything to show us that somebody's been there. Litter, fire, you know, if there's an old fire, fresh fire, that gives us as an indication.
The search is split into 2 teams to cover as much ground as possible before the light fails.
We're here, so if you want to head round to the right side of this wee hillock,
yeah,
and we'll go round to the left. The gentleman was sort of a bit of a survivalist. He'd like to go to hill with minimum kit and sort of live off the land, so that does contribute into our search areas, because you know he's on about wood for shelter, so if part of his plan was to sleep in a wood or whatever, yeah, woods need checked. we're full-time police officers, so we do this as and when required. We've got our day job as well, so, you know, we are, dare I say it, kind of hardened to the trauma and that side of things. But no, absolutely, it's, you can, you know, there's somebody at home, just going through hell, you know, and what we want to do is, just try and help as much as we can, best as we can.
If Finn isn't found today, the decision to stand down the search may have to be taken. For Alistair, this is a difficult call.
Only when you have exhausted all the possibilities without yielding anything positive do you then reach a point where you have to scale back. But I'd like to stress in this situation where we are just now, there is that hope still. We know the character, he's a survivor in many, many respects of his life, and you know, if there is a hope, we'll do what we can.
Next time on Highland Cops. In Inverness, detectives bust a major county lines drug gang.
We aim to make this a hostile environment for drug dealers to operate.
This is what I have here, believed to be crack cocaine and heroin.
Police investigate wildlife crime against some of Scotland's best-loved protected species.
There's a fizz and feather in the bottom of the halt as well. Is there some conflict with land management in terms of a new otter has moved in?
They may be just some otters to some people, but it's a crime to kill them and hurt them.
And a wanted man goes missing in the wilderness.
What ultimately is going through your head is where are you and what has brought you to be missing? And then also what resources do I need to try and help me find this person?
The dog's searching! Did the dog find you? Stand still! You'll come to no harm!